right. Yeah, let me go back in there because I usually on my this is on a different computer. The other
All
one that
right.
works. Okay, so
Here we go.
all right.
And we're live. Yay. Finally.
And I got it fixed
Right on.
at the same time.
Perfect timing. If you're joining us on YouTube, I'm sorry I had a couple of issues this morning, but fortunately we didn't miss much yet. If you do like what you see, we drop a lot of knowledge here. If you do like what
Oh
you
yeah.
see, like, subscribe, hit the alert bell, and it really helps us out. And we're gonna produce a lot more material, you know, regardless of how many subscribers we get. But the thing is, it helps us out with the channel, and the more subscriptions we get, the more material we'll put out. So essentially, it's running the back end and keeping the front end moving.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes SPRC rolling over, and
Oh,
that's
that's
that.
the penny stock.
Yep. So that's that classic third leg. So you get the one compression here, breakout, two compression
Yeah.
here, breakout. Third, it faked. It went right to the top of that stinking wick and broke down. Well, bam. Third fail.
Well, bam,
Now we get
baby.
likely a 50% retrace, and probably looking at about $1.25 for support. If it holds that, cool. We might get another setup. If not, that game's done. Paul already took a nice 10% return off of that this morning, so
Oh, that's really great.
good deal. And
And we
then,
had a couple that moved yesterday that may move again today.
oh yeah. All right, here we go with Ford finally. A little reversal, a little breakover. And I ordered a new webcam, so it'll be on the way. I was going to use my phone as a webcam because, my goodness, a 48 megapixel candle in this S21. I tried it. It's freaking phenomenal, but I need my phone to trade a lot too, so
Mm.
kind of hard to do when it's like up here on a stand, and then also using it as a camera and the screen. That's for the back camera, 48 megapixel. Front candle not as much. Probably better than this potato, but we'll get there. We'll get the technology going.
We have the technology.
All
We
right.
shall get it going.
So I got Ford on the grid. That's been kind of a staple this
Ford.
almost the past month now. This thing is just great for day trading and also really good for swing trading. Let me get the daily chart up on that. You can see we
Oh
have
yes.
that
Do we have
diamond
any?
pattern. Nice
Mhm.
breakover. Yesterday we broke that critical $15 support, and we got all kinds of levels to walk down the price ladder, continue into bear land. We've got an angular support down here too at about 13.95, $14. We could see that today if things get really violent in the S&P. And if we're looking at SPY, we got that nasty, nasty decline yesterday. Well, it made a run right down to a key support level and then made a measured move into the close. But if you look at the whole thing, you get this nice, nasty crash channel basically.
Mhm.
Here's accumulation. If it can't break 396 resistance here, this breaks over. That becomes a measured move, boy, and that
We
goes
measure it right back down.
way south. We're talking
Yeah.
like 382. So 382 was a key level many months ago we were messing with, and we traded
Yep.
the crap out of that pivot. It was wonderful. So let's see what we get today. If we get it today or tomorrow, it'll be pretty interesting. Um, Looking at it daily, let's zoom in here. We could very well close a doji today, but never forget that bar spinner bar. We got that nasty bar. We'll get the accumulation today. Tomorrow could be a trend day, and it could be really nasty. Today is an options expiration day. Chances are the market makers will try to keep this range today and keep it fairly flat today, so they can take advantage of some option expiration. But tomorrow there isn't an expiration, so Thursday is just an open day. More often than not, you'll get a trend day on a Thursday. Tuesdays and Thursdays typically. It seems historically. Lately, we've been having a lot of big moves on Fridays and sometimes big moves on Mondays. So
Yeah. We've had a lot of trend days on a 0 day. That's been interesting.
Yes, it has. And
Uh,
the interesting thing about it is that when you go to trade options, the shift in the implied volatility is much more violent, and thus the delta gets skewed a little bit. So you end up where you'd normally find your sweet spot between 3 to 5 days to expiration. You'd find like contracts between trading between 38 and 42 cents would typically be between like 0.06 and 0.08 delta. On days like that where you have a 0 day with a trend, look at the delta in that sweet spot and it'll be more like 0.08, 0.09. It's a little bit skewed, so it makes the shift on that sweet spot a little bit. So you'll probably want to head for the slightly lower end of that on days where it's excessively volatile like that. In doing so, I was able to open a killer spread for demonstration yesterday. Normally, when I open a spread like this, I open them by the 100. And what it is, it's the $1. It was a $1 wide spread. I opened it for 8 cents in yesterday's accumulation zone. So when I was looking at the 5-minute chart, through all this, the midday, I opened that spread right around 130, and opened it for 8 cents, closed it for 30 cents, and that is
wow. Yay.
stinking such little risk. When you open 100 of those, that's an $800 risk. But when you got that kind of momentum, you're making $3,000 on an $800 risk. It's not bad.
Nope.
And
That ain't never bad.
it's a rare occasion that you can run a spread like that. You have to have that kind of momentum. It has to be a big mover day. But when you do, man, it's like nailing it all. Even though it's volatile, even though it can pull back and rip a face off at any moment, your risk is so low and you have so much opportunity to get the heck out of the way if it reverses on you that, I mean, even down here, like if I would have ignored or if I would have canceled that $30 limit order that I had set,
Mhm.
even this bounce back, I probably still could have closed that at like 22 cents around the close. I was watching it. But yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing you could do on a trend day like that. And it's a really neat thing. As far as opening that contract, that's one you just go straight into. So like you just select your 2 strikes and set your limit order and hit the button. And that was with expiration today. So it was yesterday, trading contracts yesterday that expired today. So
That was cool.
it was pretty fun. I love being able to demonstrate that stuff. So
I got 100 and something percent on my one of my trades yesterday.
nice.
Finished the day 10% up. I think I told you that.
Oh yeah, I think you did. Yeah,
I
you
wish
did.
that I wish that I sized up. I had money left over. I was kind of like, oh well, at least I got it. I got on
Yeah.
that streak.
And the thing is, you never want to FOMO that stuff.
No, I miss trades all the time when I can't go chase them.
Right.
Especially with options. You miss an options trade, that's it. Don't chase it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big mistake if you try to chase it, especially directionally.
Trying to get this cheap camera to not turn me green, but man, it just doesn't quit.
We be ranging.
Yeah, we're ranging, but we're looking at a little double
Home
top
on the
here on a 1-minute
range.
chart, and I'm thinking as soon as we eat that 200 period on a 1-minute chart, it's going to be let's get back to the opening low type of situation. So
Eat the 200.
and look at this.
We're gonna eat it. I see that double top.
Yeah, and then look at the bearish engulfing on the 5-minute there. Glory.
Oh, goodness gracious. It's engulfing right now, and he's got some seconds left on it. What will he do?
Right.
What men him going
Let's see.
to do? Red
Got
view
about
app on
10
it.
seconds left. No.
Yeah.
No, 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 no,
No, no, no, no, no, no. Hello. Hello, hello.
Love it. Let's get
I've been up
bearish.
for hours trying to figure this stuff out. This was a pain in the butt. Oh, look out, Joe. Look out, Joe. Where you going? Low, low, low. I apologize, everybody. I get a little
Whoops.
wacky every now and then.
I just realized I wasn't trading an ES contract there.
Oops.
That's all right.
There's only coffee in my coffee, nothing else. Stock market made me want to stop drinking.
Oh no.
What do you mean? No, I
I know. I
stopped.
know. I'm just teasing.
Well, it wasn't that, like I said, I wasn't that I was heavy. It's just that I was, I realized that my body
uh,
woke up the next morning after having a couple of drinks and didn't like to get up. And I said, "Oh no, we got to be fresh for the stock market. Bye bye tequila." My old friend Jose had to go.
there you go.
Jose Cuervo was a friend of mine.
I'm gonna close this at $100 and go back to the MES. I don't like trading these live.
Yeah, don't be screwing around with that big stuff
There
live.
we go.
My goodness gracious, pal.
87.50. I'll take it.
That was cool.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not MESU. Get out of here.
No, get out, MESU. We don't want you right now.
We want the
You're not
Z's.
real. We need the Z's.
There we go.
Now I know how to roll a contract. Okay, what do we got? We got a little zone at 393.94. And yeah, it's a little zone that it's just a little stopping on. I got a 2-minute chart on the MES. And
I'm
I got
seeing
a
a nice
zone.
bullish engulfing on 1 minute, right on top of that 200 period. I don't know that's going to live long though.
What's the zone there?
Whew.
Why don't you tell me what that is?
Man,
It's a pivot. A pivot at 39.59, maybe 25. I can't tell because TOS gives me dollars.
yeah.
Actually, I can tell. I can see where it pivoted right into. Yeah, 39.59. Nope. 39.58.75. That's the pivot.
Yeah, there's two zones here. I'm going to mark this out real quick. Close enough.
Close enough for rock and roll.
All right, let's get the futures chart back on here. I want to make some money today.
Yeah, that's what I want to do in options.
Yes. Still rolling that Ford put debit spread. If Ford cracks 14.50 today, I'll probably close it.
We're still going sideways. I ain't nothing. I ain't doing squat except watching, and we got to go plot.
There you go.
Because it's interesting, and usually there is news. Now we got something already happened. So what was it? Some petroleum report. I think we're done with that. When's the FOMC?
Good question. Let's find out.
We got Atlanta Fed business inflation expectations right now. Petroleum status at 10:30.
Oh.
The VIX is at 26.75.
Get my calendar open here.
How much I got over there? We're good there with the settle funds.
Calendar. Yeah, it looks so green on this camera. I don't like that.
I can't see you. I'm looking at Discord.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure my face in Discord. It just takes up too much screen space there. Let's see here.
Financial juice. What do you got going on today?
Well, we got industrial production tomorrow at 9:15.
I don't know what a red lightning bolt means on financial juice. Does that mean we're going to have volatility?
Oh, maybe.
U.S. EI crude oil inventories. That's the thing that comes up at 10:30.
Aha.
And then, do we have any speakers or anything like that? Talking? Anybody chomping their teeth or?
Not that I know of.
What do they call that? Chipping their teeth is what Sig calls it.
Yeah.
And the guy's up there chipping his teeth.
I love that saying. I love Sig. He's so funny.
He's so cool. He's doing the morning briefing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Pulse, I say a lot.
Right.
He does a lot to get his pulse on the market, but it's pretty good.
It is.
Mix a little bit of that with the TNA that I get from you, and it's pretty cool, man. But yeah, I learned all the Globex highs and Globex lows from him, and learned a lot watching Sig and that morning briefing. I learned a ton.
Yeah. No, we're dropping knowledge on our channel here, and it's to the point where we're
Come on down, Ford. You know you want to do it.
We're giving it away. So, like I said,
yeah, we are.
Stay tuned.
It's a lot. It's a lot for some people now. I have a friend who's very intelligent, and I kind of teased a little thing out to him. He's the first outside of my immediate family that I have teased anything out to. And he said the same thing I said when I first looked at it. He says, "Man, I didn't have a grid for what y'all were saying in that video, but I can tell you this: it seemed like jazz."
Nice.
And when I first started, I said, it's kind of like jazz, guys. And so he's digging it, and I think he's getting the bug. So, that's a
Nice.
good thing.
Good deal.
I'm not going to say any more about it.
Enough
Not on
said. Enough
YouTube.
said.
Hi, YouTube. I have secrets, but you don't know them, and you can't get them.
No,
You
you're
will
gonna
not
you're
get
gonna have to
them.
keep watching.
Mm-hmm.
I know some. I was thinking what I'm gonna do, and I know Devin's awesome with editing, and he loves
He
doing it for
is.
some reason.
He's an awesome dude. Period.
I like him. I've known him for forever.
Is Bud in here? We don't have Bud today.
We
Oh,
don't have a bud today,
what a name!
right?
Hmm?
Right?
I love it. It's like he's going to be a stand-up comic. He's gonna be the head of a department at the FBI
There
with
you
a
go.
name like that, or he's going to just quit and become an entertainer like a musician with a name like that.
No kidding.
It's kind of like my name. It's like, yeah, okay, worked good in music. Great. I just dropped my mouse.
No, the batteries pop out.
No, I don't. It's not a wired mouse. That's why I dropped it. I kicked it
Ah,
by accident. I wear a size 14.
yeah. Big shoes. You kick stuff over all the time. I do it too.
Uh-huh. I
I'm
step into stuff all the time.
I'm only a size 12, but I have weird feet. Like if I let
Me
my
too.
arches fall flat, they'll be a size 13.
Yeah.
But I pull my arches, and it's just something I had to deal with as a kid. When I was just a few weeks old, they surgically snapped my hip to turn my legs the
Right.
correct way.
Ooh, yeah. I had to do braces. Boy, that was heavy duty. Glad you
Yeah,
don't feel that anymore.
no. But the reason they did it is because my feet were like basically pointed at each other when I was born. And so um,
Uh,
I had to learn to walk a little different than everybody else. And I still have a growth plate issue that was long since, you know, inoperable.
Wiki.
Inoperable. Um, but the my knees offset a little funny. So like if I'm not walking
There she goes.
with
Ford just broke that pivot.
clean arches or arches that are up and a lot
Oh,
of
look
pressure on
out.
my toes, it beats the crap out of my knees. So
Ouch. Well, we have some things in common. I didn't realize that.
put
I
my
had to wear braces as a kid. My feet were turned in.
on the bright side though with the way that I walk, my legs are strong as all get at, and they're springy because my knees are a little offset. So I can still run and jump around like a kid,
Holy cow.
which I'm grateful for. But it was because of the hardship I had as a kid. And shoot, I remember by like age 11, I used to go fishing with my dad a lot. We used to go fishing this place out in Moreno Valley in California called
Still ranging
Lake
there.
Paris, and we go fishing on a dam quite a bit. And this dam was like made out of it's an earth dam, but it had just massive boulders on it. And I would go and jump from boulder to boulder to get down in the water and go fishing. And if the day was going long, we weren't catching anything, I'd just start playing around on the rocks. I had it to the point where I could run full speed across those boulders, like not even slowing down, full speed, jumping from one to the next, and all sorts of fun stuff that I probably could have lost all my teeth for. And
Mm-hmm.
I got really, really light on my feet, and I've always been
Keep
really light on
talking.
my feet.
Keep talking. Because we're learning all about you. Now we know your trading personality. Y'all see that? He likes to jump on boulders with no net,
Yep,
and he does it, got really quick at it. And that's why he can scalp the way he scalps.
that's got to be it.
He is I really got quick at it. I'm quick on my feet and on your fingers.
Apparently, for me, it's quick in the head, and
Yeah, it's quick. That's for dang sure. You are quick. And
But
that helps you so much. I mean, people like with that personality that you have or that, you got that I'll get out there and do it. Let me just go out and do it. I'll go get on that board. I'll go get on this. I'll go run around those rocks. You
right,
know, I'm going to go out there and make this stuff happen. That kind of personality is really great at this.
seems to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
We could probably go to the skate park and get all the skaters and say, "Hey, come here, learn."
we could.
Be like, dude,
I still go rollerblading with the family, and I'm
still ranging.
I'm like this tall, lanky goofball on the skating rink. But like,
Are you
uh, I learned how to do some fun stuff on rollerblades, but ice skating is my bag. I love ice skating. But on rollerblades, I can still mess around too. I'll do like pirouettes and spins and pivots, and I can skate really stupid fast, and that's a lot of fun. But get out there with the family, and of course, like the kids are older now, they're teenagers. Like,
um
Dad, stop doing the stunts. I just do it
I
for
like
me. I enjoy it.
you do it well too. Look at all those wicks on the 5 minute on the MES
I see
Inspire.
that. I see that. I see that.
So I guess 10:30 is going to be a big moment. I
Yeah,
gotta
it's
find out who we
coiling
have.
up. Look at this 1 minute chart. We got a diamond right here. So we're getting ready for a big move. I think 10:30 is going to be a big deal here.
Well, let's go look at some stuff.
Oh, come on, let me draw.
I'm going to be right back, Jeremy.
Yes, sir. This is a tight compression and decompression right here. Or, I'm sorry, decompression and then compression. You get tightening range and then you get widening range, usually before something is about to happen. And these little diamond patterns, they get pretty neat. What you end up with is it's got to break out somewhere. And typically what'll happen is they'll tend to fake one direction and then rip a face off in the other direction. Well, this is at the top of an opening bullish trend. Okay, we had this nice little Busby here, or this evening star pattern, more or less. There's a few more candles than you'd like to see in an evening star, but they're there. And then you get this range expansion, and now we're into range contraction. So at some point, we'll break an angular here, and at that point, you'll see a trade opportunity, but then you're going to see a quick reversal, typically. Not always. Sometimes you just watch it go into a measured move or some other fun stuff, but the idea is something is going to move. And if you haven't noticed, I'm running TTM squeeze on my charts today instead of the fast Stoich or fast stochastic Stoich. It's just the way I pronounce the acronym. But anyway, what I'm looking at is kind of going back. I haven't used TTM in a long, long time. With Webull here that I use for my charting, I would typically run FSTO. I could at one point run kind of a synthetic version of TTM just by putting a few different indicators out, but I couldn't get the TTM on exactly. So I never really got into it, and I did that for a couple weeks, and I'm like, yeah, this is fed up. FSTO works better. So I went back to FSTO. So now I'm looking at TTM, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I can spot all the signals in it. This is pretty easy. Here's a 5-minute signal right here to go bearish, right? But watch what this diamond do. And we got a report coming out in about 10 minutes here. I'm going to put a control bar right there. So I'm going to wait for momentum because this is chop. This is really difficult to trade chop here on the MES, right? Let's zoom out a little bit more. This is essentially a 10-second version of our diamond pattern. You can see the upper line here, lower line here, upper, lower. So what we like to do with these when we start to notice them, and my MES chart's going to disappear for a minute, extend those bad boys. they're going to give you clues for what price action is to be expected later. And the idea is when you see a diamond pattern like this, don't trust anything until you see confirmation in the momentum. You can trade the break, but be very quick and very cautious because, like I said, they can break out one direction and then about face and rip a face off in the other direction. They're very notorious for that. All it is, in a sense, is that it is a sign that you're about to get volatile. That's all. And if you look back at some of our older videos where we were doing a look at SPY, we found a lot of diamond patterns on a 5-minute chart that ended up being significant for setting up price levels for the next day. When we had the Jackson Hole event, for instance, we had range that played exactly on these 3 trend lines. We had the 2 descending channel lines, and we had the rising channel line. And essentially, the end of the day before the Thursday, it walked right up to the close on that upper line. All right, so I mean, it went on the 5-minute chart right into the close at that line. It was massive move. Oops, this is gonna mess it up, but let me fine tune it as it's breaking down. Messing with it on 2 different time frames is never a great idea, but you get the idea. So if this about faces down here and we get a reversal and we start to go bullish on that breakout, chances are we'll close up here around 400. That would be about a retracement of half of yesterday's price action if you include yesterday's pre-market and that sell-off towards the end of the day. That's going to be a key pivot zone. So let's mark that. About 404 was the base of that big red control candle. Nah, I'm going to look at the consolidation. It lines up with our diamond pattern. 401.50. All right, let's go find the bearish argument. If this remains bearish, realistically, all knowledge aside on that diamond pattern, we have a setup for essentially a big measured move. We got all of this trend. We have overnight accumulation. We open flat. This accumulation can either go on all day and we close a daily doji and then break over. This becomes a bearish measured move in that case. And if it does, we can start extending this diamond pattern into a realm of, oh my gosh. So
would you take that measured move when you say bearish measured move? Would you mean the whole day? Or do we take that last leg that took off from like 130 yesterday?
I would say the whole day, but half move. Because you had the open on the floor here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This whole measured move was its own measured move. But the whole entire trend was also a measured move if today closes an accumulation. And then you can get a half move or a whole move below to the next day. So like Thursday over here could be the breakout day for that measured move to continue. It might even just happen today. I'm not sure. But whenever we see these diamond patterns, we always extend the ever-living love out of the length of those trend lines. And they give us a lot of answers later on. So here's a little reversal. Watch this. If this closes a bullish engulfing here.
Holy cow, 385.23 is a real possibility.
Yeah. And then we got extensions down to 382 for a total measured move.
I used my box on that. I'm sorry I can't just throw in the Discord right now because I'm on a different computer.
All good, man. Not to worry.
I'm talking with the father.
Ah.
Good for you.
He tends to call me when he goes out for his walks. So.
Gotcha.
Oh, and he walks with you and he talks with you?
Yeah, exactly. He's in Arizona there.
He's in Arizona. The father's in Arizona?
Yep.
I'm picking with you, Paul.
That's awesome. All right,
so puts are looking nice. I'm up 69% on them.
Nice.
Yay!
That's what we
The
like.
Coca-Cola. I'm waiting for the Coca-Cola to see if it'll reverse. I'm up $1.50 on it, but
Very,
from
very cool.
yesterday.
Ford and Coke and living down in Brazil.
So you
Oh,
loving-
American pie.
Loving that strangle strategy. What was your total loss on the calls that open?
It was $9. You know, it was so I'm up 16 on the puts and it was down. I took the 9 because it looked like it was gonna go the other direction. It popped
Right.
up a little bit, but
Right.
you know, now I'm up 18.
Sweet.
So
That's great.
I think, I mean, it looks like Ford's going to keep going down. That's from what I'm looking at here. Oh, there's a big drop.
No kidding. This is
Yeah.
nailing that. I think we're gonna nail that 392 pivot first. And if we settle below that at all, it's gone, guys. We didn't get the fake and break on the diamond like we typically do. It just went
This is the
straight
last
through.
chance for romance right here for SPY or MES.
Yep.
I got my red
dang it.
zone right there, right where it is.
I meant to have a position open on that.
Yeah, so we might
late
be
now.
going.
I'll wait. Oh, that trend is strong though, dude. I'll wait and see if we get a little flash of green for a pullback on that first.
Yeah, look at that.
I still have a really nice Ford put debit spread open, and I also have a Disney put debit spread open. I meant to put some of those in the announcements, but they were so far out of the money, I would have been laughed out of the group, man. I swear. But
I can't talk right now.
I'll be the last one laughing. I'll tell you what, because that's doing very nice.
Yeah. My put's up 100% now.
There you go. Dude.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. We are at. We've crossed the 15-minute. Oh wow, never mind.
So at what point do you typically sell an option? Do you take the 100% and just say we're good, or are you looking at the trend on the chart there?
Trend on the chart. I'm going to look very closely at that 1 minute chart. When this trend starts to slow down or show me signs that it's going to bounce back above that 8 period, I'll take it. If I'm happy with 100%, normally that's about my target for most of my options trade anyway, I'll take it. But if there's momentum left in this move, if it continues to break through that 1450 level, that momentum would definitely maintain all the way down to about 14. I got 1428 was the key level.
And there's I'm looking at 5,000 contracts on the support, 760 on the ask. So it's still looking strong.
Just cracked that 1450, baby. See ya.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about this setup for about going on 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
That's that daily diamond on Ford. That was a diamond top.
Well,
and we got it marked. The next level from here, if it cracks through that, it can go all the way down to 1395, 1396.
Where am I going?
There's a
Oh,
control
did you
box.
just say it crossed the 1460? Did you say that?
Yeah, it broke 1450 just now.
Oh, okay. Because I have old levels from when I first started trading, and you had Ford up. I mean, they're old, like 1402, 1389, 1460, 1473. Yeah, well, that's what we just did.
Well, I just sold my Ford there, so I took 115% on that one.
Right.
Fantastic.
There you go.
So,
all right, so we got we broke that key support, that's for sure, on the MES.
Yeah,
that low, the Globex
not
low.
bad for my first strangle.
Hey, congratulations, man! That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, UVX.
Now if we just get Coca-Cola to drop.
Watch out! We got that report coming out in just a few seconds, guys.
Yep, it's coming.
Yeah,
so be real careful.
Well, the provision for a Coke is the call right now. They're saying it's going to hit 68 or 68.50. That's why I put it in at 59. Like I said yesterday, I got in. I'm up $1.50, but we'll see where it shakes out.
I just got out of my little thing just to wait for this report.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to sit tight too.
No, I might not sit too tight. I'm looking at that thing. My chops are just a trumping.
All I've got going right now is those that Ford debit spread and the Disney debit spread, and they're both in glorious profit. But I'll run momentum.
Okay, here we go. Inventories for the oil. Watch out. The inventories for the crude oil actually 2.442 million, forecast 1.85 million, previous 8.844 million. So I guess that's I don't know if that's I guess that's good news. I have to learn how to interpret that. But we got a little bounce here, so
Yep. That was
look
at
for the
390.
U-turn.
That was at 392 pivot we laid out.
Right. Look out for the U-turn.
Yeah. It'll either U-turn or it will continue to sell
Just
off.
pull
Here comes
back.
a punch right here.
Mhm.
Watch that 8 period on that 1 minute chart very closely here.
Where's my one? You looking at SPY or Ford?
SPY.
Oh.
And Ford.
Yeah, it hit the 8 period just now.
There it is.
We
Closing
want
those
to see
depth
if
spreads
that.
on Ford. I can always reopen them later.
Yep. Could walk back all those things. Let's see what happens here. Bada bing, bada boom. Little descending wedge there on a 2 minute.
Nice work on your first strangle there, Paul.
Yeah, Paul,
Thanks.
that's excellent.
That's how it's done, baby.
I took 100 and something percent yesterday on a put when I got off. I took it yesterday. Jeremy and I were on and we were watching the crash.
Oh yeah, that was.
And I was checking my numbers, and you had 389, so I went and looked around. I said, "Yeah, I could see that." So I got the 389 put. I spent a couple $100 on it, and made 100 plus on it.
Nice. Not too shabby, my friend.
I choked up. You know how I talk about it. I told Jeremy when you go out to those 38 to 42s, I was having problems for a little bit. There's a lot to learn,
Yeah.
and so I was like a kid, holding your big brother's bat. I had to choke up, get a little closer in the money. All right, so look out. We got that. See if it pulls back. See if this is just a pullback and a bear flag.
Yep. If I was riding SPY puts on a trend, that was the pause candle down there at the bottom that I always talk about. And the next strategy you're going to learn, Paul, if you get into day trading SPY options, is called streaking. I call it streaking. And
They called him the streak.
Oh my God, he did it! That was what I always say.
Go look, Ethel.
All right, let's see what's happening here. I gotta be right back again.
Well, here's what I'm looking at for. This is what the daily looks on Coke.
Nice. That looks like a bearish retracement down to that low pivot or pivot low.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking there. So, and I'm out to the 30th, so I've got some time on it here, so I may just hold it over.
There you go. Okay. We got 3 soldiers candles right there on the, they're wiki, but on the 1 minute chart, right to the 20 period. Let this candle close. The next candle is going to give you the signal whether you can stay short here or if you're going to sit on your hands and wait for the next move.
You're talking about SPY or Coke?
SPY. The 5-minute chart, we're looking at a potential 5-minute tweezer bottom. All right, you don't always trust those because sometimes they will sit there and they'll give you a 3-bar. And if you look at that angular resistance, which was previously angular support from that diamond pattern that we're up against right now, it lines up. So you could very easily get a 3-bar here. So if you're long on that, I would probably look at taking profit real quick right there if you went long on that little breakover.
Right now, I've got the Coke put right now. That's about it. I don't have anything else going right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I'm gonna take a look at Disney real quick. Get the chart up. I think Disney's gonna hit $100 here pretty soon. That's just my take on it. I'll get that up in the chat in a moment. Let me see here. Aha, we're cracking that 20 period. Got the tweezer bottom out on the 5-minute chart. Watch this 5-minute candle here. I guess I'll put Disney up over here real quick. Disney's walking down an angular resistance there on a 1-minute chart. Pretty simple. That's a previous, I want to say that's a previous, previous.
So you have a put on Disney?
I have a put debit spread on it.
Okay, debit spread. That's where you take a put and then you go farther down and you buy a put, right?
Right. So the debit's actually reversed. So you're gonna buy the put that's closer to the money and sell the put that's further away from the money.
I'll have to figure that one out.
And it goes for calls too. It goes the other way. So you would buy the call that's closer to the money, sell the call that's further out of the money. Typically, I like to go for a $5 wide on most large caps that have good options liquidity, and I like to go out of the money. Ideally, you want to maintain no higher than a 4-to-1 ratio, meaning if you're $5 wide, you never want to risk more than $1 on that spread. That being said, I go for like 8-to-1, so I'm looking for 50 cents on a $5. And the idea is if you go far enough out of the money, but it gets close, you're never going to expect these to expire in the money. Go about at least 30 days out. I like to go 30 to 45 days out, somewhere in that neighborhood. And the idea is if you're far enough out of the money and you've got a great setup building into a way to find a nice trend to trade, you don't have to be dead on with your expiration chances of expiring in the money, so to speak, on the close. All you're trading is a percentage shift. So the idea is if you're running a spread that's still going to be a few dollars out of the money by the time you're ready to trade it, the idea is going 8-to-1, your profit target is 100%. So if you're risking $50 in the spread, you want a return of $50 on profit. So you want to sell that sucker at $1. And the whole point is it never has to be anywhere near the money. It just has to have the right time and the right trend behind it. So all you got to do is get the direction right. The thing is, if you compare that to going long in just a whole option, time decay is gonna eat you. You're gonna have a constant battle losing money at a time. Whereas with the spread, you sold a contract and bought a contract, so that time decay is not going to touch you because they're going to offset each other. You're short one option, long the other option. So
I'll figure all those out actually doing them.
Yeah, it's going to be something you want to practice. And certainly, look for stuff that's, I like looking for sector rotation. I like looking for, large caps that are just either getting pummeled with bad news or boosted with good news, whatever it is. Look for the trend, look for the setup, trade to break. Pretty simple. And when I get into those spreads, sometimes I'll throw them in the alert channel, and sometimes they'll make 100%, sometimes they won't. So if I throw them in there and I'm not going to get my 100% return, I try to give it another follow-up alert saying, hey, this isn't working out. I'm going to take profit here, and it may be 20%, 40%, whatever. But most of the time, if I'm opening in that 8-to-1 ratio, as long as price moves a little bit with me, I'll still be in profit. So I'm not too worried about it. The idea is finding those strikes when you see the setup break and finding out what's going to be your best risk to reward ratio. And that 8-to-1, it's freaking money if you do it right. So the other thing is that if it moves against you and you're in an 8-to-1, it doesn't have much to lose. So like if it loses 20%, I mean, you're not going to be crying over that. If it loses 50%, even still, I mean, you're going to lose $25 per spread on a $50 risk. Yeah, it's a huge percentage, 50%. But the amount of money you're going to lose is going to be nothing compared to the amount of money you could make on that. So you get enough of those right, it's just all about that win ratio. And, you win more than you lose. You cut the losses quick on those. It's the same as trading shares or trading anything in any condition. The whole advantage is you're able to apply a lot more leverage with a lot less cash. All right, so Disney, I'm looking at this this breakover of this look like a bull flag. Let's go a little further out. Daily chart. All right, so Disney had this nice descending channel. It met 50% retracement, which is also right under that 200-day moving average, and rejected it, right? So we get two possibilities. Either A, we get trend, pullback, trend, for measured move up to about 145, somewhere in that neighborhood. Okay. Or if it fails to break out and it breaks down below support, like if it gets below $110 here, the target's going to be $100 first, and that'll be about a 50% retracement of this rising trend here, right? And that puts us right on angular support from the entire trend it's been in, and makes a very, very valid target, $100. Goes below that, dude. We got runs all the way down to like $90 for support. Watching the S&P.
Can you take a look at Coke there, see what it looks like on your end there?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to decide if I should just go ahead and cut this thing, or if I should go ahead and, I don't know right now.
Nice.
Oh,
that's okay, Ricardo. As long as you're making good trades, man. All right, let me get this Coke up here. And I've traded Coke a little bit in recent times. I traded that breakover when we went bearish. Yeah, I want to say it was around. Yeah, it's probably around May or June. I don't remember. I'll have to look at my records. But let's look at the daily setup here.
I've got the put for 59, so it's set for 59 out to the 30th.
Got a nice M top setting up there. Go to the weekly. Yeah, critical support on an M top is about $59.25. If it breaks that critical support, this M top takes momentum, and then we walk down the ladder. And this is the part of the ladder where you want to see. So 50% of this bull move here is right where that pivot is, and I had set that up a long time ago, about $61. We came up, tested it.
Yeah, she's getting bullish here.
Headed south, and if we crack critical support on this M top, we'll probably eat the rest of that trend. So looking at support right about 59.50-ish, 59.25, and if we crack that, we got a target right down here at about 57.
So we still have good opportunity to drop on Coke. So probably best just to hold on to these. Like I said, I've got them set for 59 59 for the 30th. So
And
have time on them.
The other part of that pivot line that's right at the $61 mark, that's your
Watcher.
resistance for today. So if it breaks that resistance, we'll likely get a retrace of yesterday's bearish action up to like 61.50. If it rejects that $61, that becomes your measured move setup where this is accumulation and we break over and start finishing that move.
Well, it already rejected once at 61 today.
On the open, yes.
Yeah.
And it's threatening on the 5-minute chart, just for say. If it gets any bullish momentum, if SPY carries it with it above this angular resistance here, which is back to on that diamond pattern here, then Coke is setting up for a bar spinner bar. We could get bullish here, but let's watch for a break over here because this can also turn into an evening star. The 5-minute clock is going to be crucial on that one, and it's getting close to the end of that candle anyway, isn't it? Yep.
SPY, MES just hit a pivot on the 2-minute.
Aha. Let's see if we get a break over here. Been meaning to trade this all morning, and I've been too busy talking.
Yeah.
I don't mind that though.
You know what happens? No, you're doing great. I'm going to have to hit the record. I've missed a few things.
It's it's out on YouTube, and then
We'll have a replay later.
what
Look at that SPY on a 30-minute chart.
what I'm also thinking is I was talking about it earlier. I started to talk about it earlier. Devin's got those editing skills. I can go and simultaneously record straight to my computer, so I can just send him a file, so he didn't have to download it from YouTube or anything. And maybe have him like edit a highlight reel where we're getting all the
Good information.
all the little gems of knowledge that we drop, and just put those into a
that
highlight
would be
reel.
good.
That'd be
All right, if it that 39.70 on the MES is key resistance right now.
Yeah.
That's basically the top of the 15-minute opening range. Went below the opening range. It came back on the MAS. If you look at a 5-minute, we got those two previous 5-minute candles that look like they're wicking into each other. Reminds me of a dowel, wooden dowel that you use to link stuff together.
Yep.
And we're hitting that, like I said, 39.70 is the top of that 15-minute opening range. If it gets above that, then it could be bullish for a little while.
Yep. It can go and retrace yesterday's.
But we got to see if it gets above that right now because it's still not there.
I've got key resistance at 396 on my chart, but very similar. And I'm looking at that 30-minute chart. Yeah, you got that right. That can print a little tweezer bottom there and get bullish.
If you look on the 15-minute, you see that it's a bullish engulfing.
Yep. And
also it did. That's what I call the elephant foot because of what it's done in the lower oscillators and strength indicators. I got a big V right where it's stomped down on both of them.
The other thing that can happen is you can get a 3-bar.
Yeah, 3-bar and then go back down.
Right. So we'll watch that 1 and 5 pretty tight here. We're at angular resistance now. Just broke it. We're hanging just on top of it.
Your 8 just crossed the your 8's crossed the 15 or excuse me the 200 and the VWAP.
Yep.
On the 1 minute, wicking into 39 or 394.47 on the SPY.
One element of
Ford's
danger
coming
here.
up to another pivot point right now and bringing me some money. Thank you, Ford.
I like Ford.
Listen, you're absolutely right. The Ford is the greatest way to learn how to trade options.
Oh yeah.
It moves okay. I mean,
it's forgiving.
Gee, I'm actually doing better on a contract using one contract of Ford than I would at the same price on SPY. So it's not a lot of money right now. I'm just trading one contract, but it's green. It's profit.
It's just one of the most forgiving and easygoing high options liquidity stocks there is, and it's cheap. So I mean, even if you lose big on that, you're not going to destroy yourself. You know what I mean? You're going to learn the hard way sometimes, but it's not going to be so hard. All right. One thing I was pointing out with this SPY move here is we had this. It's a rising channel, and it just broke it. It's a 3-leg. It's steep. It's parabolic. But there's 1, 2, 3 attempts on support, and it just broke it. Now we're underneath the 8 period. And this is where I was talking about that 15-minute potentially becoming a 3-bar. Oops, let me get back to that.
Looks like a V bottom.
Right. So we could get a 3rd bar, and typically those will retrace. So like we could get to about 393.40 on the pullback on that. But it'll be quick, and then it'll close with a wick. So then we get a big hammer, basically a 3-bar.
I'm glad I took profit on the SPRC there. It's just kind of trading sideways for the most part today. Didn't get that parabolic move I was hoping for at the beginning.
It did make a nice measured move though. We got the channel here.
Yeah.
Breakover.
Well, I got it. I sold it at that first top candle there at 132-ish.
Yep. Very nice, man.
Yep. So.
And this is classic. And this was before Stone joined us this morning. This goes back to everything that Stone's teaching now. Look at that daily chart, dude. All those levels were already there.
Yep.
And then a 2-hour chart, we went and walked through them all this morning and found all of the key pivot areas. And dude,
all
price
right,
action
see if this is...
worked. It looks like Coke got rejected at 60.80.
Sweet. And
2 times now, actually. At one point it hit 60.85 rejected. Now it hits 60.82 rejected.
Here comes that breakover on SPY too. This is that channel break, and the target for that would be about 393.50 for a 50% retracement of that channel. And that's why I was talking about that 3-bar. It's not a true 3-bar on a 15-minute chart, but it'll look like it, prematurely, so to speak. And you'll get a half measure.
Let's see what we get here.
Turn all the noise off. You would likely see a pullback to about that level, that 393.50, 393.40 area. And that bar will be solid. Now, it's got just 10 minutes to go on that bar, right?
Come on, Ford. Do your thing, baby.
So let's see what 10 1-minute candles get us, and we'll keep the 15 open here. We're playing in a key pivot area too, so.
Yes, we are. I seize that. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
So do you typically look at the end of the day for strangles? Is that kind of what you look for to swing those?
Me?
Oh, you or Jimmy.
Let Jeremy talk.
Typically,
He's the expert.
yeah. So, and this is where, you know what? Let's go to the 5-minute for yesterday here.
Oh, look what we got going on over there. Well, you got to come back. You got to walk down there first.
You know what? Let me go to the 5-minute.
Everybody's trying to. I got a 200. I'm at the 200 on the 1 minute. I mean the 2 minute. And I got the indecision doji, and I got a green candle right now.
Every once in a while, Stone, man, that New Orleans accent comes out on you.
Yeah, it does. You should hear it when I'm hanging out with my brother.
I can see it now. You two sitting there eating mud bugs and boudin.
Exactly. And I'm probably drinking a beer when I'm doing that with him.
Down here, they don't have boudin, but they've got crackling. So we
crackling.
Yeah.
Ooh, got lots of pigs down there, huh?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
So if you look at yesterday's 5-minute price action, you had a whole dollar range to leg into a strangle yesterday, right around 1 o'clock to about
really?
2 o'clock. Really nice range to get into. And the idea is, you know, when price is low on that channel, you buy the call, and then when price is high on that channel, you buy the put. The idea is that if you had this major drop down, it's going to go one of two ways. It'll either measured move to the floor, or it will come back up and retrace. That's why you do a strangle in the first place. You're sure it's going to break big, but you're not sure.
So you watch so you're looking at the Bollinger Bands to decide when to go in on the strangle, the Bollinger Bands and the TTM?
Not necessarily that way. I'm looking more for the price action on the trend on top of that 8 period there. And if I get that into a 1-minute chart, let me zoom back to it, you'll see bigger range than you see on the 5-minute chart, just slightly. This is the chop that we're looking at for legging into that right here, this area.
Yeah. No, I'm saying overall to decide if to go in on a strangle or not. I was asking, you know, is the Bollinger Band and the TTM a good, you know, when you see they're nice and tight, you know, they're going to go one direction or the other. Is that what you're looking for?
Actually, I'm not. I'm looking more into just general price action. So I'll go and go so far as to turn all that off. And I will look at, let me go back to a 5-minute chart. I will look at what the big move is. All right, so if I got
push that pivot, break it.
Pure price action, I've got this nice nasty drop in the pre-market. We had a nice trend open. All right, so this becomes your measured move from open to midday. So this was our expected move down here. It went a little further than that. It made most of this, and this was the accumulation zone in the middle here. So between like 402 and 398 was about the accumulation for that whole measured move, right? So the idea of going into a strangle is that it's setting up for a measured move, and you'll get one of two things when you have volatility like that. One, you can get a 50% retracement. Two, you get a measured move. So you know it's going to move big. It's going to move a lot of dollars, but you're not sure exactly what the direction is until you get this little breakover right here. So if you were day trading a strangle, that's where you would get rid of that call and write that put down.
So what is the I'm looking here. So what is that white line on yours? Which one is that?
That's the 8 period.
So is that an 8 EMA or SMA?
SMA. And essentially it's just going to give you an indication of when the trend changes. So like you see price on top of it mostly, trend is still up. As soon as it broke below and held below, trend was down. Just that
What's
simple.
the yellow one? Which one is that one on you?
That's the 200 SMA.
SMA?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I've got that one.
Yeah, I always just use simple moving averages because there's really not a lot of math that's necessary, and I'm a keep it simple kind of guy, so I like just keeping it, you know, a little less complex is better because you can make much more rational and less egotistical moves in the market when you're trading. So if the more simple you keep it, the less you get all of your thoughts into it, the better. The less thinking you have to do, the better.
Yep.
Let me throw the Bollingers back on and get my noise back on the chart because we're doing something today. All right. Look at this 1 minute breakover. That's either going to be a Busby. I think we sent the video out on the Busby. And for you guys out there in YouTube land, if you want to do some research, do a Google search or YouTube search for Bullish Bears Busby. Sig made a neat video on that. That's exactly what that is right there. The trade is really quick and simple, and a 1 minute chart does it. You get a bar, a spinner, and a bar down. That's an evening star pattern, but it held the 8 period.
Hammered into that.
All right. You get
You're bullish
two
there.
targets in this. You trade from the bounce off that 8 period, and if this were to break below the 8 period, you wouldn't trade it. Off the 8 period here, this candle open, about 395.05 would be a good entry. And your first target's half the previous bar, 395.30. Second target is the top of the bar, 395.60. It's just a quick day trade scalp. That little Busby right there. It doesn't owe you anything more than the top of that bar, but at the very least, about 98% of the time, they'll reach at least a 50% retracement, very consistently. There it was, 50% retracement. Now at this point, you can take profit if you're long on that, just that little quick change. And this is where that 10-second chart is very useful on the MES. Because you'll know exactly when that sucker's going to change direction.
You know, you can get Webull desktop and even on your phone, mobile, you can get, they don't give you 10, but they'll give you 5, 15, and 30.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. But nothing moves like the ES, man. So you can see that the trend on that, if you're looking at the top right corner of my screen there, you'll see that price is still sitting on top of that 8 period. All right.
Yep.
1 minute chart to boot. Watch that 1 minute candle close. Close a hammer there. Cool. Close a doji there. It's time to reconsider our thoughts and take profit, be ready to walk away. That was a half Busby trade. Close the doji, still on top of the 8 period. We're good. We're good for our target too. And that on the ES is going to be about 39.75. And
Yep, that's the pivot I have here.
SPY 395.60.
I got 395.66, but you're right. I can see 61 is the pivot.
And that is a quick scalp. I mean, that is, you got to be nimble
Okay.
for those.
I got to say that auto support and resistance that I have in TOS that I use,
Mhm.
I think I got it from Scott. That thing really works for pivots. Every time you're calling out a pivot, it's exactly right there. And you can use it as training wheels as well to learn how to get those pivots without it.
Love it. What
You
was
send that to me
called
there, Stones. I can go ahead and import the script.
Yeah, I will do that. It's probably a little later, but I will get that.
That's fine.
I'm on like 3 computers right now because I had to
Hey, no
close it
problem.
this morning. But I will get it to you. I get it to
Hey,
anybody
no
who
worries.
wants it. It was a
No.
member of Bullish Bears. You got it.
Yeah.
All right. This trend is your friend until it isn't. Watch that 8
Your
period.
trend is your friend until it bends.
That's right.
Hey, to me, Stone, indicators are like commentaries.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You got
I
You
to
know,
look
it's
for
almost
busy
like-
intersections.
Someone's like asking me, why in the world do you have over 8,000 commentaries? Well, yeah, I'm not going to read them all, but if you want to know something about a particular point,
I just got your commentary. I just got it. The reference.
There
Okay.
you go.
Yeah, you're right. It is. But you want to get a consensus, right?
exactly.
Exactly, and that's a lot of what Sig did. If you would, Sig would, in that sense of studying, he would read a bunch of commentaries in the morning, and
Yep.
so news, and he would get that consensus of okay, everything seems to be agreeing, price is going this way. And I don't know that he price action trades. I think he's a pivot trader. Is that right?
He's a pivot trader to the core.
Come on, Coke, come on down. Break that 200.
So, just to show you guys, even on a 10-second chart here, control bars are valid. This bar
Yes, they are.
right here, 10:55 a.m. sharp. That
Are
is
you drawing your own control bars, or do you have something set up to?
I just see them. It's right in front of
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I know you see them. I wasn't sure. Sometimes people have stuff that automatically set them
Right.
up.
I know. Stone has something where you can mirror them.
The zigzag,
Yeah, the zigzag.
it helps a little, but mostly is just watching you and seeing where they are. And then you can tell where they are. You can tell that red bar is a control bar because everything's kind of staying inside of it.
Right.
It hasn't really gone way past it.
So there's your
Looks
deal.
like,
Didn't quite make that target two on that Busby there, right?
no,
There was your
still
chance
above
to
the 8.
tell you right there on a 10-second chart. Didn't reach the top of the control bar to the next level, and we broke that support. Bam, we're down bearish now. Ride's over. Hope you had fun. But there's your angular support there too, so be ready for a chop right to 395 here on SPY, and then watch this 10-second chart for a quick reversal. If it breaks that, we still got this 50% retracement as unfinished business, and the 200 period would be our target right here at about 394. Wahoo.
All right, let's see what it does.
Love me some price action, guys.
We are at the top on the 5-minute chart of the 15-minute opening range. So let's see. Looks like it's going to break it. And it does.
There she goes. Let this candle close though if you're going to go for a longer term trade. If you see a doji here on the 1-minute chart, that can spell trouble for your bearish position. Because you can get a quick morning star out of that and run back up through that 8 period. And look, Ford's setting up a Busby now too. On the 5-minute chart.
Downward, you're looking at a downward Busby?
Not just a regular Busby on the 5-minute chart. You got an evening star right there. Now, if this one,
there you go.
This one that it's cracking that 20 period, this is a Busby that you don't necessarily trust because it's still an evening star, which is usually a sign of a reversal. And in this case, on the 1-minute chart, it was also a sign before a reversal. We could trade the bullish scalp for that because it's usually pretty typical to retrace that. But the breakover is another point. That rejection right there was your bearish entry, and it didn't quite show up on TTM, did it? TTM didn't say nothing about that. That's the only thing I don't, and I remember now I didn't like about TTM. I love trading bearish. I love bearish signals, but it doesn't always give you a good bearish signal. TTM is great for bulls, not necessarily great for bears. There you go. Bar, spinner, bar. We're on. Target 394.75.
There's the rollover.
Take a quick one here. And when the moment comes, I'll set a tight stop on that.
I got an inverted hammer and a 2-minute on that pivot on the MES.
I see that we're rolling back to support zone there too. Now I'm just going to set that trailer. It's probably going to grab me. That bar was nice, but I don't think it was nice enough. We can get a tweezer here. Ah, and then it closes that big old inverted hammer. Love that. Come on now. Watch for it here. Ha, tweezer. Cool, watch for action back above the 8 period. We could get into a bullish trend here. This will be interesting because if it runs to 396 and breaks it, we got a retracement on deck like no other. Probably run to about 399, maybe even touch 400. Pretty crazy, but it's possible. On the other hand, We do have a little triple top starting to set up here too, so let's see where it goes with this angular.
Let's,
This is going to
let
tell
us
us
see.
whether we get a quick little bearish scalp out of this, because those triple tops, when they break, man, they run real fast to the 50% retracement, and then sometimes they'll run the whole trend.
I got a hammer on the pivot.
Yeah, that 3-minute chart's right there too.
On
The
an
hammer.
MES on a 5-minute.
This will be the
Hammer
make
on
it or
pivot
break it
on the
right
1
here.
minute too. I got a dragonfly hammer.
I keep hearing music, but there's oh.
It looks like it could be an end pattern on the 2 minute.
My wife is an industrious woman. Let me tell you what. We went and bought our paint yesterday before we went out on date night, so we can paint those walls downstairs so I can move my stuff down there.
Awesome.
We were going to paint that together today. I think she's painting
She
it now.
already did it.
She's
Yeah.
painting it now.
Well, you started something with that painting thing, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything, but I could feel it inside. She's been wanting to paint a room, and I'm like, well, just get the paint, let her paint that room. I'll make her happy.
There you go. And
We'll
my wife loves painting. I don't know about your fiance, but
Holly, yeah, she does too.
nice. But
I
my
used
wife
to paint when I was a kid.
My wife loves accent painting, and
Oh, that's fun too. Accent walls.
oh man, let
Mm-hmm.
me see if I can dig up some of her work and put it in the chat for you. I'll put it right in the chat. We're talking about trading. We're waiting for a mood to set up. We'll talk about painting.
We got to talk about painting and fishing stories and
Hell
everything.
yeah.
Matter of fact, when we laugh, we usually see better.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Oh, come on now. What are you going to do? 7:35. That's 11:07:35. If you're wondering what I'm thinking about.
Getting closer. There we go.
1 minute. We're spiked through that pivot there. It's 3. Don't slam down. Go back up.
When we were getting ready to sell our old house, I mean, we butted heads with our real estate agent a bit. He's like, "Oh, don't bother painting. Don't bother doing this or that." But
No, paint the house when you sell it.
we took a plain looking house and made it look like $1 million, dude, even though it was tiny. And let me show you this accent wall she did in the master bedroom. And this is the tiniest master bedroom you're gonna ever see in your life.
Yeah, that whole culturally speaking, moving houses and everything is so culturally different here in Brazil. I'll never forget, we came in, we looked at a house, like, oh, this house looks great, we'll go ahead and rent it, and sign contract and everything. When we moved in, there were no doors, no toilet seat covers, no shower heads. I mean, they literally, they take everything. Doors, toilet seat covers, shower heads, everything they take.
Jeez, they gutted it.
Well, that's exactly what they do.
That's sad.
And they take it with them to move into the next house and put it in their new home.
I guess it's a culture thing.
It is, yeah.
Thanks, Ricardo. Oh, that was hours ago.
All right.
Sorry.
Coke, let's drop. We keep bouncing off of that 60-80.
The difference that our real estate agent didn't realize is, like, most people, when they go and make a house look pretty before they sell it, they're paying a contractor to do all that work. Okay, I can see that's a waste, but when you do it yourself, that's sweat equity. And,
yeah,
we did it ourselves. We did everything ourselves. We completely remodeled this house. We put new flooring in it, painted all the walls. We did some really, really neat things, making that place look elegant, as tiny as it was. There's the bedroom right there, and that's that accent wall I was telling you about. And
nice, just faux finish.
no, she did that by hand.
I mean, she did it. No, I mean, it's not textured.
No,
sponged.
It is a textured wall, but yeah, she did the sponge on it with like a black background with silver over it, and we put those little sconces on there, and just, I wanted to put crown molding in there, but she's like, nah, okay. I love
crown molding makes things look nice. I like it too. It makes a room feel a little bit more elegant.
Yes.
And you can take a regular old room, put a little crown molding in it, and bam, it looks fantastic.
It takes it over the top, over that threshold of good
to best. But I can't cope.
Yeah, it's
I can't cope.
It's tricky to do with crown molding for certain types of crown
Yeah.
molding. I like to use a plain crown molding, not the corner mount crown molding, because the angles are a little easier to work with. There's a main
I
bathroom
just don't know
picture.
how to cope. I can't cope with it. I said, what do you call that? He said, coping. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So on the 30-minute chart on the SPY, you notice we had that a bullish engulfing, and we did not get, so far, we have not got us another little 1111, by the way. Something always happens at 1111.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Somebody has fun with that number.
Maybe.
Keep bouncing between 60-70 and 60-80. I want to see her break and drop. If she can break that, 200 SMA there, she'll drop.
Oh yeah. So this is kind of interesting to wait and see on this particular time of the week, the day, and the month. We've got that quad witching coming up, don't we?
What's that
Is that
called?
this week?
I think that's next week, actually.
Oh, okay.
Let me double check.
What is it? Quad meeting?
Quad witch.
Witching.
Oh,
What day is quad witch day?
see, that's why you gotta stay in this at least a year to learn stuff. I don't know. I thought I could do this in 3 months. I was ridiculously crazy.
Let's see, quad witch day. That is on the 16th, actually, so next Friday. And no, that's this Friday. Jeez, yeah, that's this Friday. My bad. Sorry, guys.
Blow through that pivot, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Ford just hit that 1473 I had marked, and when I had just learned how to make use my price line and mark highs and lows.
Nice. We're just
I was
under
probably
that
following
396. There it is.
following along with you, marking those numbers.
I remember those days, man. We killed it. between
You killed
between
it. I was learning.
between well, I mean, you had a lot of input too. Like you.
Oh, I would go out and find those penny stocks because I would
Yeah.
go look. I would be scanning the scanners. Scott taught me how to scan the scanners for a good stock.
Yep.
And then I'd find them on Webull better than I would in TOS.
I know, right? And then it was you, Scott,
Still.
myself, and dude, we in
Yeah.
that penny room, we just nail every
Yeah, we did.
target like over and over and over again. Like,
That's when I had that big account, and I would make good money doing that.
yeah, man.
That's when I started trusting my TA, and I started thinking, "Dang, I'm seeing this stuff."
Right? That's when you make that transition. You're like, okay, I can do this. And then that transition comes in, and you're like, oh, I know I can do this. This is easy. You know? Having trouble with that 396. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's having trouble with it. At the 395.66 I have is a looks like it's a VWAP bend from somewhere, or a VWAP previous VWAP of some kind.
There you go. So
they
we're
do work.
looking at
They work very well.
the idea my wife has for the downstairs room that I'll be using for my new broadcasting area is we're painting the two walls that you'll see in this picture I'll put in the chat. Here we are in the chat talking about painting.
And watching paint. And what are we doing? We're watching
paint dry. Yeah, watching the candles
and
dry.
as I said before, when you watch paint dry, you can learn a lot about the paint.
That's it.
And the wall.
And this is that time of day where things kind of grind on anyway, so we can just get to shooting the breeze until we see a setup.
Well, we are above that 15-minute opening range. So we went below it and came back through it, and now we're above it on the SPY and the MES.
Nice.
Well, Coke broke through the 200, broke below 670, broke below the Bollinger. So if we can keep that trend down, we'll be looking at 655.
Hey, I see a diamond.
Where the diamond? Show me the diamond.
It's broken, but it's there. Let me show you.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, it just stands out when you recognize them, man.
Yeah, when you start seeing them. I mean, sometimes I don't even draw trend lines because I just see it.
Just know it's there.
It's like I
And
don't need to draw that line. I can see it.
when you
Let me
see
go
this
focus on something else.
accumulation like this, sometimes you have to hover out in space to put that lower line out.
Ford
So
battle.
the diamonds, what you guys draw for diamonds, what are you looking for?
You're looking for range expansion followed by range compression. And the idea is sometimes you don't get a full reach on the lower line, but you'll use this little bit of it right here to make that angle. All right. This will be actually a little skewed. So then this, if it bounces bullish, that's where your closing target is, up here at 61.30, right? Your extension, if it continues to be bullish through the day, can get as high as 62 bucks. If SPY makes an about face here and does that full on, 50% retrace, it puts you right in this accumulation zone that Coke was in yesterday, right? So somewhere in there. The idea is you look left, you'll find the key support of this whole breakover before the measured move started to break over. That pivot lines right up with that 61.30 on that lower angle.
So probably best to maybe go ahead and cut it now, you think?
Not yet. Let's finish
Not
drawing.
yet?
We got to finish drawing.
I'm trying to see which direction we're going. I mean,
right. Diamonds.
I got in a little bit late. I know I did.
Diamonds give you two options. They'll give you a bearish break or a bullish break. And I'm actually going to adjust this lower angle a little bit too, but zoom out a little bit to do it. No, that's not what I want to do. Come on now. I got to get with the program here. There we go. So that gives you a whole zone of targets to go to, right? But what you have is you have an angular support and an angular resistance. Breaking the angular support now. Remember I talked about how diamonds will love to fake one direction and then rip a face off in the other direction? Keep an eye on a couple comparisons. If you're watching SPY, if SPY starts to shoot for that bullish retracement, you can expect Coke to kind of follow. It's a large cap too. It's not in the tech sector, but same trend is trend. So the rising tide raises all ships and it also sinks them. So anyway, you're looking at a diamond, and if it hits a support level, look to the left. All right, there's a nice closing bar down here. Lines up right with that angular support down here on the lower end pretty readily. So let's put some pivots into place here.
Let's see here. Now, okay, so when you draw your diamonds, let's see, what chart are you on? A 1 minute or what are you on there?
That's a 5 minute there.
5 minute. Okay. So let me grab the 5E. Here, the 5E. Okay, we found the 5E.
Here's your break. So right now we broke that angular support, right? We're coming into two pivot zones. We got one previous control bar right here. And that's hit 60.55. All right. Snap that. Target is easy. 60.30. If it reverses anywhere in there between here and that lower target, that's where you get that fake break and a rip back to the other direction. And then you've got other points where price will tend to pause, like we did with SPY here. We got this angular support line. Look, it's trending on that sucker. All right. Yet again, this is also a little rising channel break. This is 1, 2, 3 legs in a rising channel. This is where if it breaks that angular support on the rising channel here, and I'll just draw that. Why not? I'll have to do it.
See, I'm having a hard time seeing it because my 5 minute, I'm on the 1 day 5 minute on Coke. It looks a lot different from yours, and I'm not sure exactly why. Here's what I'm looking at. That's how mine looks. So I'm not seeing the same thing you're seeing.
Just throw that in a chat or the.
Yeah, chat options futures.
Didn't pop up for some reason.
Right there.
Don't know.
Underneath the picture of your room there, your wife's paint job.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's similar, but it's not quite the same. I see that.
Yeah. So that's why I'm not seeing it as readily.
How weird. Oh, you've got a so like your opening candle with that big green wick down. Mine's red.
I know. That's what I don't get.
Strange. just charting software differences, I guess. Interesting.
So you're doing-
I see what's happening. The MAS hit the pre-market high, and now it's rejected it.
Ah, nice.
I
396.20
see
was the
what's going
extension.
on there.
Very cool. I forgot about the extension. Yep. Right to that.
Now
bam.
let's see. Let's see.
And then there was this little rising channel here, breaking over. If we get momentum here, we know where the price targets are below. Pretty
Yeah,
simple.
but look at your highs. Your highs have been getting higher.
Right.
So
But what does the whole time frame tell us?
right, let's go look at the whole time frame.
The whole enchilada.
Yes, please.
Simone. We got range expansion still happening here from about 8:30 on. Right.
Mhm. Yep. Boom, boom, boom. This is the third push, by the way. If you
And
go to pre-market,
we
and you
used to
look
call
at the
these,
SPY.
and we still call these occasionally. We'll call them horizontal megaphone patterns. See how it's opening up like a horn? So I could put more lines on my chart and run the 3-line, but the diamond's already going to tell us what's happening with it. And our critical pivot's right here, this 394.50. That's the center line of the range expansion too, roughly. Right?
Mhm.
So let's see where price takes us. And here's Coke. Look at that. Found that support coming back through. Can it be? Can we get one of those fake diamonds where it fakes out one way and rips the face off the other way? It's possible.
Nice
And
big bar on Ford on the 1 minute.
towards about noon, we'll start to find out if this is going to take a direction. I'm probably going to break off here in about 5 minutes or so, just to kind of give everybody fair warning. I like to try to cut it by 11:30 if I can, but sometimes
Absolutely.
excitement happens and we don't. We'll run all day if
Yeah.
we'll let us. But shoot, yesterday I was on for so long my voice was starting to give out.
Yeah, my voice hurt. I'm a little stuffed up today. I may have Rona again.
Oh no, that's no
Yeah,
fun.
it's been floating around, and
Yeah.
Grab some colloidal silver, brother.
yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. You take too much of that stuff, you turn blue. I know that
Yep,
it did.
That's
Oh,
He's
yeah.
no,
still-
that's not
he's still
true.
blue.
That's not true. People don't research, man.
You gotta take a
Okay,
while
I,
to do
I know.
that.
He's called research the blue man of South
no,
Carolina.
I know exactly, bro. Listen, okay, we drink gallons of it. We drink
Really?
gallons of it. I have a 50 parts per million generator that I have a friend that designs these things.
No
Let me
kidding.
tell you. Let me smack some knowledge on you, okay? The
Yeah.
reason why you turn blue, if you're gonna make colloidal silver, you have to use pure distilled water. I double distilled mine. You have to use quad 9 silver, not just triple 9, quad 9 silver, and you run it at extremely low amperage. So
Listen
you've
to
got to
this.
do it for 24 to 48 hours minimum, up to 10 days. So you're releasing ionic silver. The problem is people don't want to wait. They're not creating colloidal silver.
Right.
They add salt to it to speed up the process. And you're not creating colloidal silver. You're creating colloidal silver chloride. And silver chloride is the exact same properties that was in the old photofilm that was photosensitive. And it turns blue.
Knowledge down.
Silver chloride.
And so what happens is, number one, they would create huge particles of colloidal silver chloride that would get stuck in their skin and react to the sunlight and turn blue.
Yep.
The key is to not make the, number one, have the amperage so low so that you are creating ions and the parts per million are so small that there's no way for it to get stuck in your skin, and the ions are what you're shooting for anyway, and there's no silver in there.
Well,
We,
you did smack some knowledge on me, and I
I mean, no
appreciate it.
salt.
He must have taken the wrong stuff. But anyway, I knew the guy.
He was adding salt. He'll tell you. He would add salt to it. First of all, he'd throw it in the microwave, heat it up, and add salt.
I thought he was buying it from somewhere.
He was making his own.
Yeah, it ends up the end reaction result becomes colloidal silver sulfide. And that's the stuff that turns you blue. It's a result reaction. We talk about
wild.
biochemistry here while we're trading. By the way,
Absolutely. I was talking to Oron yesterday.
But yeah, I make it. I've got two hyper low amperage machines, and we'll make gallons of it and just use it. We've been using it for decades now, and not a problem.
It kills everything: viruses, germs,
No kidding.
bacteria.
Here's the thing. This is why it's 100% safe to use. It only kills aerobic bacteria, and this is why it doesn't destroy the bacteria, the good bacteria in your gut, because the good bacteria in your gut is anaerobic. It does not breathe.
Right.
It kills bacteria by attaching to the protein around the bacteria and suffocates it. That's why it dies in 6 minutes or less. With viruses, what it does is it adheres to the protein structure of the virus, and it prevents the virus from replicating. So it doesn't kill the virus, but it prevents it from replicating and multiplying itself.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna have to figure that out and get me some of that.
I need to get some stop bleed sticks too. If you ever mess with those, it's colloidal silver, but when it reacts with blood
Paul
directly,
comes in, he gives us a bunch of knowledge.
right? When it reacts with blood directly with oxygen involved, it
No, I
becomes-
did not know that. I just knew the guy was taking colloidal silver. He turned blue, and then he went to jail, and they called him the Blue Man in
Right.
South Carolina because he went to jail for running a scream. He was part of that scam. He was part of that
right.
sovereign citizens thing,
Yeah.
and they'd go in and tie up the courts with a whole bunch of BS.
Mhm.
And so he got busted for a credit scam. Credit.
And
fixing
there's
credit.
actually a vitamin treatment you can take that will literally clear it 100% out of your system.
Well, that's great too. So
Yeah.
you're not blue anymore.
No, you're not. Problem is people don't study and they
Yeah.
watch the YouTube, put it in the
Uh-huh.
microwave, add salt to it. It'll make it real fast. The problem is you're making the particles so large that they're no effect.
So no effect. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that smackdown of knowledge. That was good to know. Now I won't tell people that they're going to turn blue unless they use it wrong or they make it wrong.
Yeah, making it wrong. And you don't use tap water either because you're combining silver particles with all of the kind of minerals and whatever else is in that tap water. You gotta distilled water. I like to double distill mine as pure water as you can get, and then I use quad 9 silver, so 0.9999% pure.
Wow. Okay. Cool to know.
All right, let's get some pictures in the chat here, other than painting pictures.
Well, my Coke options are flat. I'm at zero break even right now.
Oops.
We're just playing right now. It's just going.
Yeah.
So what do we got coming up? We got another thing happening here. Let's see.
Dun, dun.
Nope, we got no more stuff that I
Alright.
can think of as far as econ events.
We got some trend lines established on that SPY, and man, if this rolls over and gives us the rest of that range expansion from the 5-minute chart opening, we're going to probably go into range compression or contraction towards the end of the day. If this just goes sideways in this range and gives us a giant diamond for the day, I'm going to be dancing because that's going to give us a lot to do tomorrow. And if you look at that daily chart, remember, we were looking at a couple things on the daily chart this morning. We're looking at this crash bar here with this big old gap on it. Look
Right,
left, it's
and
been
we
there
looked at-
before. Done
Yep.
that. All right. If we close a doji today, what are we setting up? Bar, spinner, bar, baby. And that range
Yeah.
extends down to that 382, which is right where the daily lower band is, basically. We could get
So then, how would we look to trade that for? Would it be something we look to trade today into tomorrow, or you look for a
So-
day trade tomorrow?
either look, you can do both. You can look for a day trade tomorrow, or today you can use. If you start to see towards the middle of the day, this goes back into range compression or contraction. That's where you could use that action to leg into a strangle that you're going to hold overnight. The idea is
Okay.
find the sweet spots. Secondary idea, if you've got the skills to trade spreads, you can turn those into spreads on that.
I don't know spreads yet. Right now, I want to get down the strangle. I'm looking for something. I try to learn something first and get to where it's repeatable for me, to where okay, I can do it. Boom, 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 and then I can work on layering something else to that.
There you go. So master your strangles on the one legs, or the two legs first, and then later on work with the spreads. And once you've mastered that ability to run these strangles efficiently, even on SPY you can do it. in this case, I probably would go for Monday expiration over Friday expiration, but you could get away with Friday expiration. The idea is you're going to be on the low end of the sweet spot. In fact, probably under it. More like 30 cents a contract would be ideal to leg into at your entries. If you're working with that price action swing, it'll really work to an advantage for you. The idea is you're going to be long in both positions. So if you don't get a major move tomorrow, you're going to lose some money. The time decay overnight will eat a lot of that. You'll probably lose about 30 to 40% on that position. But if it takes off, you're going to have a really good time. You'll get a big move out of it, and if you time it right, where you sacrifice the loser at the open, similar to what you did with Ford, and then you ride the winner all the way down till the trend ends, you'll make some money. And you just proved that this morning with Ford. Now, Ford is a lot more forgiving in this process than SPY will ever be. So with SPY, you've got to get it right because the time decay is massive on that one.
So
Right.
basically, if SPY shows the opportunity for a strangle, it's best to go in and use Ford to complete that.
You can use Ford to complete that. Ford is still fairly bearish from our breakover. Yes, it can go and revert and test resistance again up at $15, but nothing telling us what it'll do today. It's likely sideways. So you could, if you start to see that same diamond pattern appear in Ford, and it kind of is, although this one's angled down a little more. You could use that price action towards the second half of the day to leg into another strangle on Ford overnight and run that. And you could still use Friday expiration pretty plainly. And it's cheap, dude.
Yeah.
Really cheap. $8 a contract, maybe less by the time the middle of the day comes around. Easy peasy. So if we get that daily candle close as a doji today on SPY, and that's the thing I'm going to also be watching. If it looks more and more towards the middle or the last couple hours of the day that's likely to close a doji, I'm definitely going to take a strangle because you got two things it'll do. Well, three really. It can go sideways again for another doji. Who knows? It can go and set up the bar spinner bar where you get a measured move to the bear side, or it can set up a morning star. You can get retracement right on back up to like 402. That's very possible. It's all in the picture. So it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. Hands down.
Yeah.
So if we're looking left at all the control areas, we're in an area where we're kind of in the middle of this minutia, this whole grindy, crazy market that's just been going nuts. All this volatility is what pays traders. So when you're able to trade neutral positions, there's never been a better time to practice the strangle strategy because you've got enough volatility to support it where you win really easily. So if you want to practice with Ford again overnight, it's probably ideal for you if you're just starting out. But if you've got some skill and you find the right strikes on SPY, you can do that as well. And if you do it right, it's still relatively cheap. Long story short, we've got lots of gaps. We've got lots of control zones. I would start putting pivots on my chart, but I mean, it's already messy enough. Okay,
Yeah.
So just know you can literally hover over it with your cursor, or even better still, turn off your Bollinger Band so it's a little less noisy. Find your gaps. All right, we're sitting on support of this guy right here. This is our control bar. We're sitting right on top of that sucker. Even though we stretched to about almost the middle of it yesterday with that extension. That's the control bar we're looking at. But look, there's little resistance above.
Define for me how you define control bar. I've not heard that term used.
Essentially, it's just identifying points of a day where you've had, and it can be on any period. I'm using the day for example here. A day where you've had big price movement. It sets up an open, a close, a high, and a low. Okay, the high and low is going to be the wicks. The open, close will be the body. And if you've got a big range, you can call that a control bar because likely price will stay in that range when it reaches those points of interest again. And the points of interest are the pivots. So you're going to put a pivot right here. 390, 350 is the top of that bar. I'm going to look at the meat and potatoes or the body of it. 388 is the bottom of that bar. That's a pretty big range for SPY, right? So you throw your pivots down, and as Stone's been reiterating, the market doesn't always repeat, but it does rhyme. It loves doing things twice too. So when you find these points of interest, you can literally just find all these control candles to the left, wherever the big price action was, and set your pivots up, and literally just put horizontal lines on your chart to figure out what your trade ideas are going to be, because you're going to trade between the pivots. You're technically going to be a pivot trader, but if you're scalping it on little short-term patterns like we are, you know where your targets are. You know where it's likely to be. And then the other thing is looking at this control bar. If we're still inside this control bar by the end of tomorrow, we can still be in a position, because there's, like I said, little resistance all the way up to here, little support all the way down to here. There's just air.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You've got some control in this trend here that we can start to walk on, and we did kind of get into that range last week when we were talking about SPY. We made all those retracements, we extended them, all that stuff, but we don't have a lot of support below. Looking at 390 here. I mean, that's pretty simple. There's another control bar here to pay attention to. Yeah, we can range in that. But look what we're setting up. We got a big old bar yesterday. If we close a doji here, we've got a big old bar to retrace. We've got a half a big old bar to retrace. We've got a half a big old bar or a whole big old bar for a measured move. It's all going to move big. We're just not sure exactly what the direction is until probably the end of the day or beginning of tomorrow. So it's ideal if you wanted to practice strangles. Today would be a good day to use the intraday price action to leg into it.
So I would probably look more at Ford.
Ford would be ideal
Say,
for
okay.
someone starting out because, like I said, it's much more forgiving. You got plenty of liquidity, very tight bid-ask spread, and you've got lots of volume in it every day. And the time decay is relatively mild, even on a Friday expiration, which is this Friday, quad witching day. You've got very mild time decay. There's a little bit of accelerated implied volatility for Ford at the moment, but it's not that bad. It's reasonable. And if you get the setup you like and you get the price action that you can use to leg into that, so you set a cash cushion between the long call and the long put, you know, price can do whatever the hell it wants. You're still going to have a net profitable position.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be a win-win-win. It can be a win-lose-win. It's really hard.
So the one day on Ford, just looking here, trying to compare it to the SPY. Were you looking at the 1 day, or were you looking at what were you looking at that SPY with the gap down? That's the
daily
1 day.
1 day.
Okay, so the Ford. Okay, so you're going back. I'm just trying to figure out your time frame there.
Yep.
All right.
So Ford, you've got a much closer trend to the consolidation. So this is all consolidation here. You've got a much closer trend, so you don't have to go as far left for your control areas. You just look at the previous upward trend. There's your control bar right here. There's your support at the top of this bar. There's your support at the bottom of the bar. And at the top of the bar, currently price is above that level, so it's support.
Ford's coming to another pivot.
58, right? And that range can go as low as 1398. So you can literally just stick your pivots on
14. Where's the 14? You said 1458.
Yep, 1458 is the top of that bar. Here, I'll show you.
Why am I not seeing that?
This control bar. So look at the daily candle for 7/29, July 29th there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it there. 29. For me, the top of the bar is 1469. The wick is 1477. Bottom of the bar is 1407. Bottom wick 1401.
I'm trying to go for the body instead of the wick. I usually ignore the wick.
Yeah, well, yeah. The body though, 14.7, basically 14.7, and the bottom is 14.10ish.
Weird.
So yeah, so got a
discrepancy between two different brokerages. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You're looking at TOS, right, Paul?
Yeah. Here,
Yeah,
I'll.
I didn't know this happens with Jeremy and I all the time with TOS
Right.
and Webull.
Yeah, we get those discrepancies. It's weird.
It's very strange.
I trust what I trade, so I just trade on Webull.
Right.
So
Absolutely, I get it.
It gives you the control range you want, and the idea is if today we break that first support, we just trade between the pivots. We know where the targets are. That's the control bar that we're looking at. It gives you the points of interest in that price range, and then there's also an angular support from our diamond here, that we can respect as well. So if we get an extension below that control range,
Yeah.
it's likely to go down.
I mean,
another
either
50,
way, it's, you know, regardless of the exact price, it still gives me the visual.
Right. It just gives you a way to see the areas of interest where.
Yeah. So right now that control bar is acting as support.
Right, the top of that bar is
To
acting as support.
today's, we broke support, but then we came back above it.
Right. And the same can be said for the next bar up. I mean, you could say, all right, if it finds support here and starts to retrace the previous bearish move, there's your control zone up here to 1520. That's this bar here. That's 8-1. August 1st. So it gives you lots of ways to set up your pivots. Where if you turn on auto pivots on your chart, if you just sort of added the pivot tool on there, they're all over the damn place. They don't relate to any of these bars. But if you draw them yourself, the price action tends to be a lot easier to read and trade when you draw your own pivots.
Yeah.
MES and SPY look like they're coming back to the top of the opening 15-minute range.
I see that. Oh man, I gotta wrap it up. It's 11:40.
Yeah, Ford has crossed a pivot, just so you know.
Yes, it has.
It's at a pivot. It's above it right now.
Mm-hmm. And again, that's
Still.
Look at that. Whoops, wrong chart. I want to watch the 5-minute on SPY. For daily.
So you're telling me you could go out right at the money on Ford. And you could buy 5 contracts for, say, $12. And it gets in the money in 15 cents. And that could possibly bring you back a return of a decent return. Like $200 return.
Yeah, very quickly in that manner. Yes.
All right, so I'm looking here.
All right, gents, and any ladies out there listening. I looked at our demographics for our YouTube channel, for our metrics for analytics. Very few females out there listen to us, but I know in my heart that most female traders I've met, they blow me away. I mean, they impress the heck out of me. They're really good. So if you're watching us, you're subscribed, and you know any females who trade stocks, dude, talk to them, spread the word. And we love catching feedback from everybody, and this is what makes a community work. We get more eyes on the market, we get experience from every level coming together, and we get to learn it forward all together. So you get a variety in presenter that way, to where if you don't necessarily like how I trade, there's plenty of other ways to skin this cat, and there's plenty of other ways to arrive at these price targets and these trade ideas that other people have. And if you get that exposure, the bigger the community gets, the more likely you are to find what works best for you and go with it. So it gives you just a little more variety and a lot more opportunity. And that's what we're about. We're about going out there and changing lives. And I'm, in a place I have a platform to do so. And
yay,
Stone has the platform to do so as well. Yes, we have a female in our group here. I see that. But yes, female traders are amazing, dude.
Amazing, because they can take the emotion out of it.
Yes, sir. They're really good.
That's why moms are great.
When
you cut yourself or you got a broken leg, they don't usually freak out.
Oh man, I could show you some pictures, but they're graphic. My youngest, when we were remodeling our old house, we pulled the old toilets out, and I had them set up next to the trash can. Got busy. I set them out there. My intention was to smash them with a sledgehammer and throw them away, because they're dangerous when they're big. And my youngest proved that. He's on the spectrum. Didn't know any better. I went in the house to finish up another project. I was finishing up some flooring around where the toilet had been, so I could touch that up and then put the new toilet down. And I had to run out and grab some hardware. Then I ended up having to go to work, so I left it open. Meanwhile, this toilet's sitting up by my trash can, and he decides to climb up on top of it to jump off of it, and it tips over and shatters, and then he falls into it, and he split his arm open from wrist to
Ouch.
elbow, just about all the way through into the subcutaneous tissue. All the fat was showing and everything. And very fortunately, he missed every nerve and every major artery because it hardly bled. But as graphic as that wound was, my wife gets on the phone with me. Oh my God, panic. And at the same time, she's like, man enough basically to go and just wrap it in a towel, have one of my older kids hold it together in the back seat of the car, loaded them up, drove them to the emergency room. I mean, that's mom stuff right there. Emotions shut down, do the job. Anyway,
Nope.
I'm going to sign off.
I got
Go eat some
a
lunch.
dip too. I'll be back later this afternoon, though.
Yeah.
I got to go run a couple of errands I didn't get to do yesterday.
Same here. I got to go help with the painting project. And then
You better do that.
maybe.
Paul, I'll catch up with you and everybody else a little later.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later. Have a good afternoon, everybody. And if I can, if I get the opportunity to come back, I'll come back and do some stuff later on in the day. And again, shout out to all our female traders out there. If you wanna hang out with us, let us know. We love having many different varieties of analysis on the market. And I'm telling you, every female I've met that does trade, they're really good at it. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.